Hey, good evening. Welcome to Chris Lowery Live for Chris Lowery, your independent candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff 2026. Doing our weekly live, Facebook Live. I'm also sharing this out on YouTube and a couple other pages, but we'll just refer to it as a podcast or, Facebook Live, what have you. So anyway, welcome. We are just getting started. I let a few people get in there. Hey, Kathy, I see you on there. We got a few folks on there. We'll bring something up that was brought to my attention. Every week we do this live podcast, broadcast, Facebook, what have you, and people are telling me, "Well, I don't see as many people on there." I get a total number of on there because I'm doing it on my personal page, my business page, my sheriff's page, as well as sharing it on YouTube and I believe Instagram as well. So sometimes when you don't see all the comments, I think on Facebook, you're only seeing the comments on the same feed you're watching from, but I'll share those comments anyway. Welcome to our weekly live, where we go live every week, Mondays at 6:30, to just try to get the message out there, as well as give you an opportunity to learn more about me and for me to hear your concerns, what you're looking for in the Jefferson County government, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. I would really like to have some engagement tonight and hear of instances where you've had good, bad, or ugly dealing with, law enforcement, the sheriff's office, any municipality, some good things, anything that you might have had that you were not so proud to have been involved in. Maybe you were mistreated or what have you. I'd love to hear those experiences as well. And as always, I'll talk to you about my platform, about what I'm going to do once I become your next sheriff of Jefferson County. So hopefully everybody has had a good weekend. Mine was very busy. This was my monthly drill. If you don't know, I am a member of the Air National Guard. So the past 4 days, Thursday through Sunday, I was doing my military obligation and was very busy doing that. It was a great time. Got to see a lot of great veterans and folks and do my services out there and aid them through my first sergeant capacity. So hopefully y'all had a great weekend. It's been busy. As always, every week is busy. Got to meet some new people I've never met, some new citizens of Jefferson County, have a discussion with them and just hear some of their concerns. I was actually sent some questions that will be coming out here real soon. There was another Facebooker that was sent some questions, and she sent them to me and asked me to do a video response on that. So look forward to that. Tomorrow night, we do have the forum that is going to be hosted over at the Elks Lodge on University. And I encourage people to tune in for that. My understanding is the Heat magazine on Facebook will be carrying that live. I would assume that the personnel putting it on, whether it's the Elk Lodge or the NAACP, the partnership they have going on there, will possibly post it live as well. But if I have some of my team down here, I'll see if they can't put it live on my page as well, just so we can have people do it. I believe there's going to be, last time I looked, I'll see if I can't find the flyer for that and share that with you on this live. But I believe you're going to have, or at least invited, I don't know who's attending and who's not, but I believe the flyer showed all of your county judge candidates. I believe it's 5 Democrats, 1 Republican. Your 3 sheriff's candidates, 2 Democrats, and then myself as an independent. And then there's 2 state senators, I believe. I'll pull up the flyer here in just a minute, see if I can't locate that. Just be able to share that too. But that's tomorrow night at 6:30. That's going to be January the 13th, 6:30 at the Elks Lodge on University. Let me see if I can't find that real quick. Just hang on a second. Bear with me. Should have thought about that earlier, I would assume, but that's all right. We got nothing but time, so let's see. Search. Let's see what Facebook shows. Yep, so All right, so it looks like I got the flyer here. I'll try to share that with you in just a second. So bear with me. Yep, so here we go. Come back to it, share some media with you. I believe I am sharing that with you now. Let's see. Yep, here we go. So as you can see on this, there is a forum tomorrow night that is starts at 6:30. It's at the Elks Lodge, located at 2315 University Drive. That's tomorrow night at 6:30. As you can see, you got five. One, two, three, four, five, six Jefferson County candidates. It looks like it's going to be moderated by Michael McRae. And again, over at the Elks Lodge. And then you will have Haley Schaffer and Ethan Dunbar that are running for the federal Senate candidates for the Democrat Party. So I know several people. I've spoke to a few that are running for different races, and they said they will be there. So come out, check that out if you can. Come to the Elks Lodge. And again, you can tune in on, I don't run the page, but I do know that the Heat magazine had stated that they would be carrying it live last week. Somebody had asked on my live or on Ask Facebook or something, and that's what they had stated. So anyway, hey, Nanette, welcome to our live. So again, our weekly live, this is where I come on here and try to talk to you about my platform and the things that I feel are vitally important to stop the crisis in Jefferson County. And as well as I'm trying to get you to engage and let me know your experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, that you may have experienced with the Jefferson County government and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Either one of those, I'd be glad to hear it. I do really enjoy what I'm doing, running for office. It has gotten my name out there, and people have reached out to me for a variety of different reasons. I was able to help a family out last night. They had a friend, let's say a loved one, that they weren't able to get in touch with, and I was able to utilize my resources and locate this individual for them and give them some closure on the issues that they were having. So that was very awesome, and I think that really transpired because of my status, I guess, as running for the sheriff position. People have gotten to know who I am, and I put my phone number out there on a regular basis, and they were able to track me down and ask for some assistance in this, and I was able to provide that for them. So that has been great. As always, I like to talk about what I'm going to be doing as the next sheriff of Jefferson County. Last week I spoke about this, but it came back to me this week when I was issued or sent some questions that this individual on Facebook had been receiving from some of their followers. And she talked about fear. And she says that, many residents, I'll pull them up here and discuss that. I want to read her questions exactly. Give me just a second to switch over here where I can get to them. So she has been sent some questions, and I gave her a response, but it says that, many residents' fear has become normal for them. And she's talking about Pine Bluff, but I'll say Jefferson County as a whole. She said many residents' fear has become normal, and people are afraid to go get gas, go to work, shop at night, what have you. And she was asking me what my immediate actions would be for that. So we'll talk about that and what your thoughts are on. Do you feel like that fear has become normal in Jefferson County, in particular when you talk about going to the county seat, Pine Bluff, to go utilize their resources that they have over there, your shopping, your dinner, your entertainment? Do the citizens of Jefferson County as a whole, what's your thoughts on that? Do you feel like people are fearful, specifically at night, to go anywhere in Pine Bluff or to go spend their money there or go try to have some entertainment or what have you? I think that is an accurate statement. I hear that regularly from law-abiding citizens that tell me they don't go out after dark. They don't feel comfortable going over to Walmart and Chili's and, even the new Simmons Bank area down there at 6th and Main, where they have some restaurants and a very nice looking facility. And so I do think that our citizens do suffer from fear. And my question to you is, do you think that has become normal in Jefferson County? What's your thoughts on that? I kind of feel like that it is. People tell me as I talk to them that they're tired, they want change, and something's got to be done. And so I would tell you what that looks like for me as the next sheriff of Jefferson County. So Pine Bluff sits in the city, in the county of Jefferson. So the sheriff's office would have jurisdiction there, right? The sheriff is the top law enforcement official for the county that is duly elected by you, the citizens. Hopefully that will be me in 2027. And, immediately I would start partnering with the city of Pine Bluff, the new police chief over there, and seeing what his thoughts were on how we could provide them assistance to lower the crime rate within Pine Bluff. I know that would look like increased patrols. I know that would be putting sheriff's office vehicles in the city limits of Pine Bluff, allowing them to be proactive and police within the city limits of Pine Bluff. As my understanding, they are currently not recommended to be proactive in the city limits of Pine Bluff, which absolutely baffles me. I get it. The sheriff's office is the primary law enforcement custodian and responsible for the outlying areas, the unincorporated areas, and the rural areas of Jefferson County. However, the people of Pine Bluff vote in the sheriff's race. They are, obligated to receive services from the sheriff's office. Plus, the crime rate has gotten so high within Pine Bluff that I am sure they will use any resource and any team member that's willing to partner with them to lower this crime rate from its epidemic crisis level and get it back down. So I believe by partnering with them on their community relations, getting involved within the community, increased patrols. I know there's times that police departments are not, police departments and the sheriff's office in general maybe not have a lot of people at work due to low manning, low staff, sickages, just not completely fully staffed, whatever. I know I've experienced that in my career at various departments. And so by utilizing or having the ability to give sheriff's office deputies, law enforcement officials, the authority and the mutual aid agreement with the municipalities be able to possibly even double their manning on certain days, certain shift. We'll just have to discuss what that looks like. But that's immediately. Day one, I've talked about hitting the jail and going in and cleaning that thing up, making that safe and secure, cutting down on the possibility of escapes and homicides happening within the jail, getting rid of the contraband, assessing the food situation. It's been brought to my attention multiple times that loved ones that are incarcerated at the Dub Brazel Detention Center are not being fed proper nutrition. The housing, sleeping conditions are horrendous to the point that I've been told that there are people sleeping in the showers, right? The phone booths, the video booths, what have you. If that's the case, we're not doing that. We are going to assess that. We know it's not safe over there. You can look historically over the past 7-8 years. There's been a lot of tragedy that happened over there, a lot of assaults, a lot of, deaths in custody deaths have happened over there. And so day one, first 5 minutes, that's where my priority is going to be. But I will be working with, let's face it, we'll know in November of 26, because you guys are going to go out and vote. And you'll know in November that I'll be your next sheriff. So I will be utilizing November and December to already be having those conversations with the municipal departments and having those mutual aid agreements ready to pull the trigger on day one. So, priority will be that. I'm listing them out like 1A, 1B, 1C. So, all right. So Devin's got a question there. It says, absolutely, I personally know some who do not leave their homes after dark. It's honestly sad that people are fearful of doing some things like going to the store or restaurant certain times of the day because of how rough certain parts of the county have gotten. Absolutely, Devin. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't believe that's something that we should be tolerating or allow acceptable. The question I threw out there was, has it become normal? I believe it has. I believe people think it's normal that they cannot go outside and enjoy their yard or go shopping after dark or in certain parts of the town. Let's face it, we used to be a large county. We used to have a large city here, right? That population has shrunk. We are too small to have the amount of problems that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, with the citizens getting involved a new sheriff in town, a new police chief in town, a new mayor that has been in office for about a year. We can collaborate to get a hold of this through our programs like GVI, partnerships, community involvement, and being tough on crime. I promise you, you will see a drastic reduction in crime, on a 30, 60, 90-day interval that I believe in the first year we will lower it by over 50%. That will happen under the Lowery administration. So let's see. Kathy has a question there. Have you heard anything from the patrolmen and the deputies as far as them wanting to work together? Are they willing to work together? Yes. As I've spoken with, officers at various departments and deputies within the sheriff's office, I can tell you that I have never heard of one saying, I don't want the help. We don't want them there. I did hear a story, just being honest with you. I did hear a story that I would have to say years back now, within the last year or two, that there was apparently situations where maybe, I'm not going to give specifics because I wasn't there, but I was told that there was incidents where maybe a police department was responsible. It was in their jurisdiction of a certain type of crime happening, and deputies showed up, and then maybe someone from an administrative level encouraged those deputies to leave and did not like the help. That's what I was told. I wasn't there, but I would tell you at the patrolman level, at the deputy level, we would not turn away help. To get any assistance, whether that's just as a backup officer, as a safety officer, to help you ensure that you're going home at the end of the day to deal with the situation, to have your back, would never turn that down. As well as anybody who's been in law enforcement knows there is a lot of paperwork involved in law enforcement. So anybody who's willing to jump in and help accomplish that paperwork and let's get this started and finished, I've never heard of a patrolman or a deputy turning that down at all. So I know that it's something that at that patrol level, deputy level, they would want to do it. I've had conversations with administrators at various departments that they have not told me they would not be interested in doing that. The way I describe it routinely, if you follow me on this live, is that crime is much like fighting crime is much like being on a sports team, a football team. You have offense, defense, you have specialty players, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterback, whatever. So you take those people and you put them on a team and you win a game. So although crime is not a game, fighting it, that's a great analogy to me. So by being able to partner with, say, the Pine Bluff Police Department or the Whitehall Police Department or the Redfield Police Department, or, if another municipality gets one of theirs up and going again, as well as with local sheriff's offices at surrounding counties, as well as state police and possibly even federal agencies, depending upon the crime and what we're trying to get done. But I believe the partnership is the way it goes. Again, being a law enforcement professional for 20 plus, I've never heard of anybody turning down help. It just would not make sense to me for somebody who did. If somebody did, I guess the very next question I would say, why? Why would you turn down help? That's you got a problem. You got someone here to help you solve that problem. I'm not saying we're going to make it our problem to fix, but we will assist you. We will provide you resources and tools to get that problem fixed. So that's a great question. I appreciate that so much. I'll go back to what I was saying initially. So looks like there's only about 8 of you on here right now. What do you think? What do you think about the word fear? Do you believe fear is normal, right? So, and are you willing to accept that as being normal within our community? I would hope not. I would like to engage with you on that and hear your thoughts on that. Carla's got a question there. Hey, Carla, welcome to the live. What can we do to bring charges against criminals who break in vacant homes to SWAT and destroy them? As of now, nothing is done but eviction. These criminals have warrants, are absconded, and law enforcement can't arrest or remove them. So, all right. So I'm going to try to break that down for you, Carla. I just want to be honest with you. There are officers, not just here, but there are officers across the United States, or at least in Arkansas. I'll say across Arkansas because I've met many. If they are able to, sometimes they like to make an excuse of saying this is a civil matter. And what they're trying to get to, and I don't necessarily think they're 100% wrong, because they're not if it's truly a civil matter. So civil matter is not handled by law enforcement, right? So what I mean by that is if you rent a house for me, you quit paying me rent, I won't get you out. You don't leave, you refuse to leave, you're squatting in the house, and you call the police show up. That is a civil matter. You need to get them evicted. You have been a landlord there. Just because they're not paying you rent, the law doesn't allow you to throw them out on their rear ends. There is a process for that, and that's the eviction process. The evictions are handled through the sheriff's office, and I have never worked the evictions. I have attended a couple of eviction classes and training. I'll tell you what that simply looks like, big picture, right? So you as a landlord or as a property owner must give somebody, if you were trying to get them evicted, you would have to give them a 3 or 5 day notice, written notice that you wanted them out of the residence. If they did not leave, you would then go to the sheriff's office and apply for an eviction. You would accomplish paperwork, get it signed off by a judge. They would get served with that. And then if they did not leave after a period of time, which I believe is 10 days, the sheriff's deputies would be dispatched out there with the eviction notice to forcibly remove them. So that's kind of how the civil process works. Those of you who naysayers and haters and say I didn't explain it right, I probably didn't, because I have never worked evictions. However, a little bit of training, that's my memory of it. So now the part that you're talking about, if someone owns a property, right? I see you're adding to it now, which is great. So someone owns a property, owns a residence that's vacant. And you're saying these people never had an agreement. They never paid rent. They never had a verbal lease. They never had a written lease. If that's the case, that's where I say some officers try to take the easy way out. Some of y'all know me out there pretty well, and I don't like to use the word easy, right? Because if you tell them easy, that means it's the lazy way out to me. So you can tell me it's more convenient. You can tell me that's what's applicable and it makes sense. But if you say easy, I discourage you from doing that. But there are officers within the law enforcement community that I have worked with at different agencies that try to take the easy way out. So if I was a property owner and I had a vacant residence and someone had broken into that, so there are 2 types of crimes that happen. There's one, if it's a habitable structure, right? An occupiable structure, and they break into it, that is a burglary, okay? So if it has, essentially, if it's a structure that has water and electricity, that's an easy way to look at it, or a convenient way to look at it, simple way to look at it. So if that's the case, then they have burglarized that house. The definition is entered or remains upon an occupiable structure for the purposes of committing another crime punishable by imprisonment or jail. So that's burglary. If the house is unoccupiable, doesn't have water, doesn't have gas, it's just a structure such as a storage building, or even a house that has been abandoned for years, that there's no water, electricity, and it is not inhabitable. So now that is called breaking or entering. And those are both criminal activities, right? So the issue that I've seen some officers run into is that they will show up, a person owns the property and they live out of town. So they live in whatever, Oklahoma, Texas, another part of Arkansas, whatever. They inherited the home or they just bought the home. But anyway, they live in a different part of the county or the state or country. But then they have someone as a caretaker looking after it. Caretaker goes over, checks on the house once a month, once a week, whatever that looks like, and they find where somebody's got in there. And then officers will try to say, well, you got to have the property owner, and you got to have this, you got to have that. So as I understand the law, as I enforce the law, that I can accomplish that in many different ways. Phone calls, videos, written statements, affidavits, right? we should be enforcing the damn law, period, right? So, Kathy, I see you sit there. It says, does this include squatters? Here's the long and short of it. If somebody has property, a building, a structure, as you say, Carla, and someone is living in there that never had an agreement, they're not supposed to be living there, law enforcement required to help you get them out through legal means. That legal mean might be eviction. That legal mean might be arresting their rear end, take them to the Dub Brazel Detention Center and processing them for a burglary or a breaking or entering, which are both felonies, by the way. So, question, if you get told that by the responding officer in a very polite way, ask questions. Look it up yourself. You can Google LexisNexis, which has got the Arkansas Rules of Criminal Procedure in it, and it has the law in there. And I guarantee you there are law enforcement officers that are like, man, this person knows the law, right? So don't be baffled with some bull, right? At the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong. If it's civil, it's civil. I'll be able to explain to you why it's civil. If it's criminal, I'll be able to act on it, period, right? It's my job. Sworn to protect and defend and enforce the laws of the state of Arkansas, right? And every officer that is sworn and holds a certification through CLEST should be doing the same thing, right? So don't, my team that's listening knows that we say this, don't argue on the side of the road. If they tell you there's nothing they can do and you believe there is, do your best, ask for a supervisor, try to say, well, talk to them in a rational tone and let them know that you've researched it yourself and this is what you interpret it as. And if you're not happy with those answers, there's always administrators Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 that you could talk to or what have you. There's always, if it's a department, whether it's a 1-man or 100-man, there's a chief, right? So, and then the chief has a mayor and a mayor has a city council or the so forth. You get what I'm saying, Carl? I don't want to beat a dead horse, but yes. Going back real quick, just I want to reread the question so everybody knows exactly what I'm trying to say. So she says, when can we bring charges against criminals who break into vacant homes to squat and destroy them? As of now, nothing is being done but eviction. So if what you're telling me is the actual facts as you understand them, there should be no eviction process if they've never been allowed to live there, right? So Arkansas talks, they don't define how long somebody's lived there, but they generally will say if it's been over 30 days, it's established residency, right? That's kind of a unwritten deal. But if you've never collected money, you don't have an agreement with them, you've never authorized them to live there, they were staying there to no knowledge and it's been within 30 days, I would see no reason why you couldn't take a pair of handcuffs and go clickety-click, take a trip down to the Dub Brazel Detention Center. Let the judge sort it out if it's wrong. But as I read the Arkansas Rules of Criminal Procedure, and as I understand them, absolutely, that's what I would be doing. If I was the property owner, that's what I'd be demanding to do. If an officer refused to do that, I would go to the prosecutor's office, the city attorney's office, and seek out a warrant on it. I would not be quiet. That's not fair, right? If you own property, someone's in it that you don't want there, and you never allowed them to stay there for a split second. If you never authorize it, it's not fair, period, right? So I would turn around, probably knowing me, I'd probably ask the officer, well, if somebody was sitting in your car, what would you do? If somebody was living in your shed in your backyard, and because it was wintertime, you never went to your shed to get your lawnmower out, and when you did in the spring and you noticed that there was a vagrant living in there, what would you do? Hopefully they would not respond with, well, I'd have to get him evicted, right? So sometimes people haven't read the book the way they should and understand the law the way they should. And, sometimes, unfortunately, that applies to supervisors, not being ugly, just being real, right? So I don't know everything, but those are definitely my interpretations of it and the way I understand it. And they do it different in Jefferson County than any place else in the state. I promise you that. So ask questions. Don't be shy to ask questions. Don't think that it's not right to, ask for a supervisor to break it down for you. So, all right. These people never had an agreement. Hey, Karen, let's see, Kristen, there is a chain of command and ultimately they have an official that is elected above them. Absolutely. That's what I was talking about. Yes. So you have in policing, you have sergeants, lieutenants, captains, assistant chiefs, deputy chiefs, majors, depending upon the department that you're dealing with. But absolutely. And then again, prosecutors and city attorneys are elected. And then, chiefs are appointed by mayors, right? There's always somebody. There's a governing body that you can ask questions to. Read the book. Just please read the book. I would encourage you to read the Arkansas Rules of Criminal Procedure. It's pretty easy. You can get on Google at any point and say, someone's living in my house, never authorized, and it'll get you to burglary or breaking or entering. So, yeah. So you're saying they cut the wire out of the wall, so that's another crime that's punishable by jail or imprisonment. So that would meet the constitute, depending upon if it was occupiable structure or not, burglary or breaking and entering, right? So, yeah, I believe you have enough. Hopefully, if you whatever. Please don't put out the jurisdiction that it is on here. We're not trying to put anybody on blast. Sometimes it's about education. That's on you if you do. But hopefully you contacted the department, got the question answered as best you could. If they told you eviction and you disagree with that, I would do some follow up with that, because eviction does take some days or weeks. And if they've been in there tearing up the property, then absolutely you need to get them out, right? So here's a couple of things I know you can do. I do not know of a department that would deny you requesting the residence or the property put on an extra patrol, which means that officers would increase patrol visibility in that neighborhood multiple times a shift. And let's face it, if they're a squatter, they're probably, well, they are a criminal if they're truly broken into a place, but they're probably a criminal, right? Criminals sometimes go with warrants, drugs, other illegal things. If the officer is increasing the patrols in those areas, criminals will tend to flee those areas or not hang out as easily, just because it's a hot zone, right? It's a high value target area, and they're going to find someplace else to go. So part of what happens here is in Pine Bluff in particular. I do not know if that's what you're talking about. I see you sent me some pictures. I'll look at them here in just a second. But there's a lot of vacant houses, a lot of abandoned properties, and there are a lot of squatters in these properties, right? And it leads to multiple different things. Property owners having their property stolen or abused or vandalized. And then, it's cold, right? So people start fires, try to stay warm. And then that's how these houses get burnt down. And they could possibly, or do, and sometimes spread to the law-abiding citizen that own a home or rent a home in that very neighborhood. So what I would encourage citizens to do, if that is your case, call code enforcement, call law enforcement, call the mayor's office, call the chief's office, right? Lodge a complaint, lodge a, not a complaint as in you're getting somebody in trouble, a complaint as in, hey, there is someone in this property that should not be there. Even if you're a neighbor and you're seeing it, the house has been vacant for years and they're living there running extension cords from one house to the other, stealing power, stealing water. Call code enforcement, call law enforcement, let them get involved in their lives and see if there's something to be done about it. Matter of fact, I just last Wednesday, I attended a chamber luncheon with the Alliance for Pine Bluff. Mayor Flowers was the guest speaker there. And that was a question I asked her in regards to code enforcement. What is being done about, people living in structures that are not inhabitable or, not caring about the properties, even if it's a habitable structure, if it's a house that does have water and electricity, but they have so much junk and stuff piled up that it's taken away from property values and everybody else. She gave a pretty good answer about that. She stated that they were working hard on that diligently. She does believe that code enforcement is maxed out right now as far as their manning goes and doing all they can do, but it's about acquiring more resources to be able to attack that problem. I think she has a plan. Hopefully she'll be able to get that going here real soon. But at the end of the day, Carla, if it's your property or you're managing a property, call the police. Require the police to do their job. So let me look at these pictures real quick and see. My goodness, Carla. Here, I'll pull that up here and I'll share it where everybody can see it. Let me ask you this, Carla, you care if I show it where everybody can see it so she'll know what you're talking about? If that's okay with you, I will do that. Let you answer me there. come back to it here in just a second. See what you said. Yeah, as soon as Carr tells me if it's okay to share those pictures or not, I'll share them with you. But it's basically a structure somewhere. It's a house that has been completely vandalized with people living in it. So yeah, that's completely unacceptable. And the property owner, whoever that might be, they need to work with you, to work with the police department, and make that happen. So she says it's okay. So let me share some media with you right quick here. Hang on a second. Let's see, how do I do this? So we'll go back over here. Saving the images so I can do it properly. So bear with me just a second. I'm sure y'all will be interested in seeing that. So I'll share some media with you. Wrong thing. Let me get it opened up here. So as I come back, all right, here is a residence that Carla just sent me. Horrendous that somebody would do that. That's just one portion of the house. Looks like all the sheetrock's been ripped out so they can get to copper wire and what have you. So criminals can do it. I got another one I'll show you right here. That's the inside of the house. Looks like people are living there. Absolutely crazy. That should not be going on, specifically if they never had, any rights as renters there. They never had an agreement. There's another one, absolutely despicable that somebody would be living in that and would vandalize a person's property like that. And if people were told, if property owners were told this was a civil matter, I do not agree with that. Again, I do not know all of the situation. I do not know. I was not working. I don't know what department it is. Again, we're not bashing nobody. Sometimes it's just a matter of a person being educated, which, that's one of the things I do. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm a field training officer. I'm an instructor. And, I do my best to educate officers when I see something that I believe is improperly done as far as a law or an interpretation of a law. And then, pull it out, read it, break it down, get a supervisor involved, go from there. So that's what I would encourage you to do. I've talked probably enough about that. I hate that's happened to you, but Carla, hopefully if they came out, demand a report, ask them for a police report, get that report, and then go beyond that through supervisors, chain of command, city attorney, prosecuting attorney, what have you. So, Kathy says, I like her analogy of what if an officer had a person that broke into their shed. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I say when I'm dealing with younger officers, what people refer to as rookie officers or boot officers, meaning just brand new, right? Is I tell them, treat the people as if you would want your mother treated, right? So one of the things that I've struggled with over my career is there are law enforcement officers. So you may not know this. This will be a little education system, little education for you guys. I told you about burglary and I told you about breaking or entering and how that looked like, but I'll go off into something else that it kind of plays into recidivism for me. So if a person is on parole and they have one of their conditions of parole is they have a search waiver, which is basically a document that they sign that they agree for any law enforcement officer at any time for any reason to be able to search their person or property. That's essentially what it says, right? I'm not quoting verbatim, but that's what it says. So I come in contact with somebody that is on parole. The analogy I'd give is, so let's say somebody got sentenced to prison for 30 years. That was their sentence. But due to sentencing guidelines, they only did 5 years. So now they got to do 25 years on parole. While they're on parole for the next 25 years, that search waiver is applicable. Well, there are officers out there that will come in contact with somebody just because of a simple traffic violation, a tag violation, a license plate light, a tail light, whatever, something very minor. And as they talk to them, because the way that the process is supposed to work is you make the traffic stop or the interaction, you introduce yourself, your name, department of employment, the reason for contact, and then move from there, like driver's license, registration, proof of insurance, whatever. But when they conduct their warrants check of this individual, they come back with no warrant, but they'll come back with the search waiver on file. And a lot of officers will use that as an opportunity to search the person. And I believe that is wrong. Now, I believe that is a great tool to be utilized if need be. If there are other indicators that are telling you there's a reason why this person should be searched, right? Something that is leading you to believe there's guns, drugs, or other criminal activity that you can't get to because of the Fourth Amendment protection. If they have that search waiver, use it. If it's a tool available for law enforcement to be able to use for their greater good. But do not be searching these people just because they have a search waiver. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. There's judges that have disagreed with it when I worked in Pulaski County. And I'm going to give you an example. This is the picture I generally will paint for them. So imagine your mother. So if I'm dealing with somebody who's 25 years old. So they're young. They just now became a police officer, right? And so let's say their mother committed some crime that got them sentenced to 30 years of prison. They got 5 years of prison. They got out. They're on parole. They're on parole for the next 25 years with the search waiver applicable to them. So now a young 24-year-old officer pulls this lady over. She's still on parole because we're only now at about the 29-year mark. This lady has worked her tail off, held a job ever since she got out, taxpaying member of society, never got so much as a traffic violation in the past 24, 25 years. She's got a tag light out. You stop her at 9 o'clock at night in the middle of a non-criminal area, and you just decide to search her. Does that make any sense? That's exactly how I tell it to them, too. And if you disagree with me, then so be it. We'll just agree to disagree. But I don't think it's right. I wouldn't want my mother standing out there in 32-degree weather getting searched because she made a mistake, 30 years earlier, right? That's not right. So anyway, I got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but the reason for that was Kathy's question or statement basically saying that she liked what I said. How would they like it if they were living in their shed, right? So how would you like it if your mother was being treated that way? So I don't think you would like it at all. So anyway, I haven't had anybody chime in on the fearful word, if it's normal to be fearful in Jefferson County. I personally am not fearful. I am the type of individual, and this is not a bragging statement. This is not I'm a Billy Bad Bud or nothing like that. I generally do not have fear to go somewhere, but that's me. I'm also a trained law enforcement officer. I am a military veteran, and I have the ability, the skill, the know-how, and the training to pretty much take care of me in the situations that I would get involved in. When I chose to move back here in 2010, it's one of the things you hear me talk about, that I purposely and intentionally made the decision to move back to Jefferson County. And when friends from Northwest Arkansas said, "Why are you doing that?" I told them because it's home. And they talked about crime and this, that, and the other. And I said, I'm not scared to go anywhere in that city or that county. If I want some chicken, I love Church's Chicken. That's the reason why I use that. It is at 16th and Cherry. They've moved now more, I guess that'd be more 15th. But anyway, brand new facility over there. If I want some chicken, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to be fearful of anything happening to me. Now, flip side of that, am I fearful if my wife said she wanted to go over there at 10 o'clock at night by herself? Absolutely, I am. So I do not believe in that being the norm, and we got to do something about it. The City of Pine Bluff's got to do something about it, and they got to do that through the partnerships with the sheriff's office and other agencies. And I'm telling you, as the sheriff, I will be doing that. So that's what that looks like. So has anybody else out there had any experiences with the sheriff's office? Okay, Kathy says several years ago she went where I needed to, but now I'm very cautious of where I go. You dang right you are. I'm going to step up and say, hey, baby, not today. But, that's just the type of person I am. We've aged a little bit, and, crime has gotten worse, right? So I'm very cautious for you too. So, but I'm sure everybody on here's mother, father, loved one, same way. So, hey, Kim, thank you for stopping by, saying hi on the Boo Boo bus tonight. So I can't stick around. Keep doing good work. Thank you so much. Hey, be safe out there tonight. And if you get on any calls where law enforcement is needed and you're requesting them and they give you any grief, demand it. Say, I am requesting as an ambulance driver for this to happen. I get it if they're on calls, but for them just not to go because they're somewhere they would rather be, I disagree with that. So please be safe, be safe, be safe always. Take care of our first responders out there, police, fire, ambulance. They're all a valuable resource that we need in this community. I know recently Kim personally had to transport my father, and I appreciate them so much for it and the care they give. So we need to make those people safe, right? You folks in the community, please, 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 please ensure that you're doing what you can to be safe, making sure all of our first responders are safe and provide them a safe environment. And I'll say, see something, say something, right? A lot of times when you just call somebody out on something, their actions will cease too. So see something, say something. If you don't want to say it to them, you can say it to the police, call that non-emergency number or emergency number and get them folks in their life. So back on my platform a little bit. Again, everybody knows, they've heard me say it, but I'm not, I'm never going to get tired of saying it, but tough on crime, safe, efficient jail operations, collaboration and cooperation with local, state, and federal agencies to ensure that the crime levels, the jail is all ran safe and that the crime levels are lowered. I believe that through my mission and my plan, through my sheriff's intent, my why, that criminal element will begin to cease operations and either go somewhere else or get some get right. And then also combined with my community involvement. I talked about that briefly at several different points, but we're talking about getting every employee at the sheriff's office involved within the community. I believe there's a way of doing that by speaking with the deputies and learning what they're good at, what they desire to do, where they see they could fit in with the community, and strategically placing them in these environments where they can excel and grow a partnership within law enforcement. We cannot do this by ourselves. Anybody who said we can, they're sadly mistaken. There's around 100 deputies, around 100 officers. That's 200. Let's just say county and state police and probation and parole. I don't know. Let's say there's 250 law enforcement officers in Jefferson County. There's no way we can do it by ourselves. We need the community. See something, say something. Get the community watches back, neighborhood watches back in order. Have some citizens police academies. Expand our reserve and our part-time programs. And let's get some buy-in from all of our community members. You guys are telling me, as I'm going around and shaking hands and introducing myself, you're telling me you want change. Well, if you want change, you got to be part of that change. Do what you can do. Part of that change is this: voting. Part of that change is getting involved in your community watch program, attending a citizens police or citizens deputy academy. That is helping with the youth. That is, volunteering at a school. That is working with a nonprofit organization such as Neighbor to Neighbor or Opportunity House. There are ways for us to come together as a community, because this is an entire problem that is, y'all have seen me do it before. I talk about it being a pie, right? A circle. Law enforcement can only do about 25% of that. Then it takes the community, teachers, educators, elected officials all the way around, and we can make this a better place. I know that through my leadership on the criminal element, that we will have a destination department that will flip the criminal element around and lower the crime rate and have a safe, efficient jail. I know that we will have a partnership with all agencies within Jefferson County that's going to be a superb one, that they'll do anything I ask them to do, because they'll know I'll do anything that we ask them to do as long as it's lawful and legal. So, and then utilizing my leadership and experience. When we talk about what I've done in the military and what I've done over my 52 years of life, is that I have been in a leadership role for over 30 years. I am a first sergeant, which is directly responsible for health, morale, welfare, and discipline within the United States Air Force. Have over 180 airmen that I am directly responsible for and guiding our commanders in their decision-making process and just making sure that they are all the morale and the health and welfare is all taken care of with them as much as we possibly can. So I'm experienced across the board. I'm also partnered with some nonprofits that are resources for us to be able to help out. And then by already formulating these advisory boards that I'm going to come in day one, from sheriff's advisory boards to community advisory boards, as well as a jail advisory board, right? Allowing the community to have a voice directly to the sheriff immediately on day one, right? And taking that feedback and then hosting, various activities, whether it's supper with the sheriffs or community nights out with the sheriff, and having, because these weekly podcasts, these weekly Facebooks will not cease after I get elected into office. That's, I'm getting great feedback on it, and I believe the fellowship will come the more that we're in it and can actually affect the change, right? So what I need all of you to do is just keep spreading that word. Y'all keep telling me doing good work. Kim says, just keep doing good work. That's what I hear consistently. Our message is getting out there, ladies and gentlemen. It is growing tremendously. I can't go anywhere in Pine Bluff or the county without somebody saying, you look familiar. Aren't you the guy running for sheriff? Just last Wednesday, I was dealing with a criminal that was acting in such a way that they just had to take that ride to the Dub Razzle Detention Center. And as we were dealing with them, a lady walked by me and she just said, Mr. Lowery, thank you for doing what you do. I'm so glad you're running for sheriff. Jefferson County needs you. And that was so humbling to hear. And so that let me know. I have no idea who the lady was. It was not an opportunity for me to really introduce myself in the sheriff capacity because I was working, but she recognized me. So that told me my message is getting out there. So I think that that is, we're doing the right things, and that's what people keep telling me. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Don't get involved in the nonsense that you see on social media. Last week we had a big discussion about pitting one another against each other, and for whatever reason, a lot of people in this county just thrive on that. And so our campaign is vowed to not get involved with that. We're going to speak truths, be transparent, and just be good stewards of a candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff. So Kathy says, anyone that wants to be part of your advisory board, would you welcome their help? Absolutely, Kathy. So what I would tell you is that anybody who wants to, just much like the question was asked a while ago, if deputies or officers are opposed to the help, and I told you, I will not deny help. So what I'm asking everybody to do, if you're interested in being part of an advisory board and working within the community, you can reach out to me at 870-556-0330. You can call me, you can text me, send me your name and phone number and what you're looking at wanting to do. And so there's a process there. When you ask me, does anyone who wants to be involved, you're welcome to shoot me your name, number, and what you're interested in getting involved in. Now, there will be a vetting process that will happen and place you as a volunteer, as a advisory board panel in the proper place where we'll try to fit you where you're wanting to go, but we might be able to look at what you got and show you how you could help differently in a different aspect. So what that looks like, yes, the short answer is I would welcome anybody, Kathy, absolutely anybody in this community that wants to help combat the crime and make a safe jail and have community relations. Absolutely, we will welcome that help. However, I do want to be clear, right? So we know there are bad people out there. That's why we have our vetting process. There's no way that I can allow somebody who has a known criminal record that has not shown that they have changed their way of life to be on the jail advisory board and have access to the jail where they could go in there and harm somebody. That just can't happen. So I don't want nobody to say, oh, he's just going to let anybody and everybody, and he's going to let them get in there and do this. That's not what I'm saying. It will be vetted through myself as a final approval authority, but the board and team that I have in place will be vetting that as well, and then we will be gainfully employing these people. I say employment, gainfully using them, right? A lot of this is going to be a volunteer position, but it's an opportunity for you to serve your community and do what you're asking me to do, which is affect change, right? I will utilize your inputs and your information, come up with programs based off of that, and gainfully employing that. Like, we're going to need community liaisons. We're going to need community watch coordinators. We're going to need citizens police academies, instructors and liaisons, right? So jail advisory boards, sheriff's advisory boards, right? There's a multitude of ways to get involved, right? So, and then if we fill all those positions, then I guarantee you that some of these JPs, county judges, they would want somebody helping them as well, right? So it's all about community action and getting involved and making Pine Bluff and Jefferson County what it used to be, right? Let's go back to yesteryear. Let's go back into the 70s and 80s as far as we were thriving. Businesses were here, opportunity was here, and let's stop the bleed. If you've listened to me for any length of time, you've heard me refer to that as that Jefferson County has become a county where people flee from. We want them coming here. We want to stop the bleed. Stop the bleed means you got to stop people from leaving. You got to make them want to stay here, and then turn that tide, okay? Turn it to now not only are people wanting to stay here, people are wanting to come here. People are wanting to move here. I hear all the time that, well, people are wanting to move here. You know, I'm pretty active in the community, and I do see people that move here. I don't know that recently in the past 3 years that I've seen anybody say, man, I moved here because this is where I wanted to be. This is what I wanted to do. They moved here for a job. They had to relocate for whatever reason, school or employment. There are a few that just randomly ended up here, but you know, I've also met people that said they just hitchhiked and this is where they got to, right? So we want to make this a destination county. And I've said it before, I'm not scared to say it again. You know, in this county, there are people talk about Whitehall, right? I do live in Whitehall, and at one point I did work in Whitehall. And I will tell you that I'm very impressed with their city government as far as they're able to keep crime out at a great level. And I believe if you can do that in a town of 6,000 people, you can do it in a town of 38, 39, 40,000. More importantly, you can do it in a county of 60,000. I believe that. If I believe it, then I want you to believe it, and I want you to do your part to let's make this happen. All right. So, yeah, Kathy, again, we would accept all the help that we could. So, you know me, all of our ventures that we went on over the past 26 years might get you on a board somewhere. Joe, I'm just playing. I know that, you know, thank you and Devin for what you do. You have allowed me to have the opportunity to step away from Diamond State K-9 in a capacity that lets me do this. Plus, there's been some personal things going on recently, so I appreciate you both for allowing that to happen. So we'll try not to get you put on a board. But I know you'll do what you got to do to help us make this thing go. So, all right. So as I get ready to get off here tonight, I'll give you an opportunity for any final questions that you may have for me or for the community. Hey, Kristen, absolutely. Man, I'm counting on it, right? I think with your background and, you know, I think that jail advisory board is a great place, right? You've shared some of your personal information with me as far as things you've been involved in, and I think that's awesome. And who better than someone who has changed and seen change take effect than to come in and bring that around? So yeah, absolutely, Kristen, I'm looking forward to it, us working together and affecting change within Jefferson County. So I do know that text you sent me the other day regarding your husband. I am keeping my eyes and ears peeled for that. I just had some personal things going on. My father being involved with the accident. Y'all may not have seen it, but I posted a video 2 weeks ago. He was involved in a hit and run accident, and we've still been dealing with that. But I do have you in mind for if I hear of opportunities to possibly send your way for your husband. That would be more than happy to do that, whether it's with us or with one of my friends or family that may have a business, you know, where they'd be looking for somebody. So we do have it in the hopper for you. So hopefully I'll be able to work something out for you. So I love it. I love it. I'm going to highlight that one there, Kristen. Absolutely. Change is possible. Last week, just came to me to come out with the the hashtag do better Jefferson County. I'm going to end it tonight with that. Hashtag do better Jefferson County. Do better. Do better tomorrow than you did today. Open a door for somebody. Say hello to somebody. Pay for somebody's cup of coffee that's behind you if you can afford to do that. Walk over and help, an elderly person pump their gas in their car. Give some directions. Smile at somebody. Hold somebody accountable when you're out in public and somebody's acting in a way they shouldn't be acting. Let them know that that's unacceptable behavior for you. Do it in a safe way. There's nothing wrong with being polite and say, sir or ma'am, do you mind not talking that way? Do you mind not doing that? I would appreciate it. I'm in here with my family. I'm trying to do, my business. Spend your money in Jefferson County. If you see something, say something, because it is going to take money to get infrastructure back in here, and we have got to start immediately. I really don't want us to wait until I get elected. I'd like to see that change effect now. That reminded me of something I do want to speak on real quick. I've spoken on it before, but the change that I'm talking about, right? So the change that I'm discussing is just because I'm mentioning it on my lives, it's already happening. I'm seeing things happen within the sheriff's office that was not happening prior to me making my very first live. I'll say that. Whether that's somebody being accepted into the Duck Brazzle Detention Center or a traffic stop being conducted in the city limits of Pine Bluff. I'm telling you, that wasn't happening before. So because of the mouthpiece that I got and the message that I'm sending, there are people paying attention. I guarantee you there are people that report back to the sheriff's office. Did you see what Chris Lowery said last night? So everything I say is factual and can be backed up. So let's affect that change right now. Let's be the voice of reason. See something, say something, call the police, hold people accountable, which is what I'm going to expect for people to do to me when I become your next sheriff. So anyway, you're ready to copy the phone number if you don't have it. My sheriff's office phone number, my sheriff's office campaign phone number is 870-556-0330. You can reach me at any time on that phone. If you don't get me, leave a message, send a text. I'll be getting back to you as soon as possible. You can also follow me on my Facebook page at Chris Lowery for Jefferson County Sheriff. You could go to Lowery4sheriff.com. That's a place that you can donate financially to us to help us raise funds for this race that's going to require a lot of funds. You can also commit to vote. If you haven't done that, please encourage you to do that. And before I get off this live, I would like to go, I do it every week. I want to ask you to tag somebody in your friends. Tag somebody you know that is a resident of Jefferson County. Tag them right now and say, hey, this guy's the real deal. You need to listen to him. He's got some good stuff to say. And all we're asking you to do is listen to him and see if his plan aligns with what you would like to see happen in Jefferson County. I will follow it up with, if you see somebody or hear somebody that says he can't do this, I would ask, why not? I would ask, why can't he? And give that feedback to me. Tell them to send it to me. I'd like to hear why people think I could not be Jefferson County Sheriff. Born and raised here, 22 years of law enforcement experience, criminal justice degree, a bachelor's degree, the state's highest certification in law enforcement. I've been running a business successfully for over 5 years. I have established roots here since 2010 after I moved back after my military commitment. I have 30 years of leadership experience. I am currently serving in the United States Air Force Air National Guard as a first sergeant. Health, morale, and welfare is what I'm over, and discipline guidance. Those all things line up to sheriff. If I wrote out a job description, it would say sheriff, guaranteed, right? So anyway, I see you guys tagging folks in there. I appreciate that so much. Let them know they can reach out to me, and check us out at Chris Lowery for Jefferson County Sheriff, Lowery4sheriff.com. Devin, thank you for putting that in there for me so people can get that and get it in the comments. They can also go watch this live and hear how I spoke about how I believe property owners should handle it, whether it's a civil or criminal matter, and the demand, the accountability that I'm expecting you to put on me. and the accountability that I think you should put on an officer that responds to you and tries to give you an answer that you're not happy with. So anyway, with that being said, it's time for me to get off here. Been over here a little over an hour. I don't see any other questions coming through. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Chris Lowery, your only independent candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff 2026. I'm your only candidate that is qualified for the position of sheriff with the training and experience that will bring the change. And as always, remember, God bless Jefferson County.